lot of tension, albeit there's a lot of camaraderie and so on. But it's a very uptight sport.
Yeah, I love the competitive end of it. You know, it's great to go out and compete with top anglers. You know, gives you a great feeling to catch fish with them. You know, and out from that, I love fishing. I know I come from Ireland and it's the home of fishing.
Yes, we're about 2 hours into the match now, and the luck of the Irish seems to be running out because so far only one Irishman, Bobby Smithers, seems to have drawn a peg which is actually producing fish.
That means there's 3 Irishmen not doing particularly well, Derek.
On a match stretch selected by Pete Thompson and whose reputation depends on the equality of the fishing here.
The reputation's still intact simply because we've got at least half the pegs producing quality nets of fish. And in a competition of this stature, then if you get half the pegs producing, you've done quite well.
Now, who are on those pegs?
Abel Coupin from Belgium, Bobby Smithers from Ireland, Otto Wessel from Germany, Sid Meads from England, and Jan van Schendel, of course, the man that we've all been tipping to do very well in the competition. They started catching bream right from the off. The bream moved out. It's now a roach match. We'll have to see how it goes from now on.
So the people on the other pegs hoping that the fish will move into their swims later in the day.
Having a little bit of a struggle at the moment to find the fish. There's not quite as much depth down there, but I've no doubt they'll find them later on in the match. Jan van Schendel, some people would say I've been a bit unfair in selecting this venue simply because it's never been fished and you've not had a chance to practice on it. How do you feel?
I don't really agree with that. Actually, I think it's a good thing. Nobody has got any advantage, and it's up to the angler now. So I quite agree with this way of fishing this final.
And what about the venue?
I like it because it's probably never been fished before. The fish aren't there yet, but still, it's difficult fishing, but I like that.
Now, you were rated one of the favourites before we started. How do you rate your chances at this stage of the game?
I'm definitely not winning it at the moment. Well, if the bream come back that I caught a few of earlier on, I still might be in with a chance, so let's just hope for that.
Looking at this water, when you first arrive, how do you assess it? How do you know what you're going to do?
Really, I'd try to go for bream. Well, I feel it's strongest when I can go for bream, and that's what I tried today.
It's been a funny sort of match, hasn't it? Because it's been one of 2 halves. Sort of pegs 1 to 6 on this end of the length have produced quite well, and yet the others up the other end are a bit quiet.
Yes, well, it just happens sometimes in the fishing. They just don't want to be there, I think, today, and well, that's it. It's not very good there, so it seems.
You're lucky.
Concentrated on this
you're
end.
lucky that you're not up there, as far as
yes,
you're concerned.
Of course I am. Well, no, it's bad luck for the people who are there, but it happens sometimes in fishing. You can't avoid that.
Eh bien, je pense que vous avez commencé très bien.
Très bien, maintenant c'est calme.
Ah, started well, but now it's gone a little bit quiet. Ces méthodes et cette...
c'est une méthode très difficile pour nous, Belgique. Nous, on pêche à la longue canne.
Yes, this method really doesn't suit the Belgians. They're used to fishing the long pole. This is hard fishing for them, but as I say, a strong start, some fish in the net, but it's gone very, very quiet now.
Mais c'est très bonne, very good méthode.
Yes, a good method. Yes, good method.
Yes.
On m'a dit que votre femme est ici?
Ah ben oui, voilà, elle est derrière là.
All right. Like so many great anglers, he has his wife behind him. Comme Sid Meads, je pense, like Sid.
C'est ça.
All right. Has she often seen you fish to victory? Elle a vu vos victoires souvent?
Oui, souvent. Bien. Elle aime venir avec la pêche.
Well, you're lucky that you have a wife who enjoys coming down to enjoy the fishing with you. I wish you good luck.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Jimmy, you received an injury in the first heat. Tell us a little bit more about it.
It's not too bad now. I slipped on the sloping bank and caught the head of my ribs. Quite painful.
I bet it was. Were you worried that you'd broken your ribs?
Well, I heard a crack and I thought I'd actually broken the pole. I was more worried about the pole.
More worried about the pole than your ribs?
I was, yes.
Did you go to hospital?
I did, yes.
What did they say there?
Bodily bruise, just, and keep breathing deeply.
Anyway, you've made it through to the final. What would it have taken to keep you away from the final?
I think locked up in prison.
You were that intent on getting here, were you?
Once you make it, you have to fish it. You have to give it a go anyway.
Sid Meads, the Bream King, has had a few on his faithful oak swing tip today.
Not so many today, Derek. They're very few and far between.
No record's going to go today.
No records, mate. And unless there's some wall-to-wall bream in the last hour or two, we're in trouble.
You are 55 years old. I mean, that's not exactly antique. But I know you had a bit of a health problem a while back.
That's right, yeah. Heart attack, a fair few years ago now.
A heart attack.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't prescribe this kind of thing for a man who's had a heart attack.
In fact, the first fishing session after my heart attack, I think I finished breaking a river record with about 90 pounds. I thought myself, nice way to go.
Well, how do you relax? How do you get into condition to cope with this kind of stress?
Oh, I've got Molly rubbing me down each evening.
Molly is your wife?
Yeah, she gives me a good rub down and we're ready for the next day.
Like a racehorse?
Just like a racehorse, or like a greyhound.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen you relaxing when other people were out flogging the water, practicing. There was Sid in his folding deck chair, relaxing, just taking the scene in.
That's right. Well, it's another match. Just another match. There'll be another one next week. Yeah. Take them as they come, nice and steady.
It's an interesting sport, though, that it seems to be possible to get better as you get older.
Actually, I think it does. It's a great sport for anybody to take up, even for anybody retiring, really. Nice. Sit down on the chair, nice.
I know by profession you're a bookmaker. Do you find that consciously that or even unconsciously, you're making a book, at least in your mind? You're working out the odds on all these anglers.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that, really. It's at the moment, I would reckon that I was about a 50 to 1 chance. But as you say, if those bream was to come in the last hour or so, anything can happen. They're catching a lot of roach at the moment, but that's the chance I'm taking. You know, I could go for the roach and perhaps just about hold my own, but it's all or nothing.
Do you mind me asking now that I've got the bookie's ear? I mean, at this stage in the proceedings, who do you fancy?
I fancy the German next to me.
Otto Wessel.
Otto Wessel.
Virtually on the next. He is on the next swim.
That's right. He's had bream early on, and he's been catching roach regular as clockwork.
Are you going to be buying yourself one of these big long poles?
No,
it's not a
no,
pole,
I don't
it's a
think I
fishing
will.
rod.
I don't think I will. As I say, every now and again you have a little strike and you get a bream, so it makes up a bit.
Steady Sid will be sticking with the swing tip.
Yeah, I will.
All right. I'll get out of your way, Sid.
Right away.
Is that a bream Sid's got a row?
Just about 1 hour to go now, and Pete, I presume that you're making arrangements to leave town fairly promptly after the match, since you did select this exquisite stretch of water on which half the pegs have proved totally duff.
Yes, but the other half have been good, haven't they, Derek? No, the lads agree that half of the match length isn't too good, but it's just the luck of the draw. They're used to that every week. So, no, I'm not going to run. It's a good venue. There's a lot of fish coming out.
Well, who's doing well?
Abel Coupin and Bobby Smithers, pegs 1 and 2. I think really the match is going to be between, though, Otto Wessel from Germany and Sid Meads from England. We're getting the English lads back in now, you see. Once we've got fish on the pegs, then they'll catch them.
Yes, but what about the Hook of Holland, Jan van Schendel?
He's dropped off over the last hour, and I think he's blown his chance now. He keeps swapping and changing from the float to the swing tip to the quiver tip, and he can't make his mind up what to do, and I think he's really blown it.